Taurus, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you for your early April reading. This reading is intended to go out to all of the people born under the sign of Taurus, as well as anybody who has a lot of Taurus in their charts. Couple of little things before we get started. First of all, the timing for this video is to project or predict what energies are coming up for you and influencing you for April 1st through the 15th. But just a little word about timing. I get asked all the time, oh, the timing didn't work out with your reading. Oh, your reading didn't come true. There's two reasons for that. So I'm just going to really quickly dive into this for you, Taurus. The first one is when you consult a psychic, intuitive, tarot card reader, somebody who works with the pendulums, any of these things, a dowser, somebody who works with the pendulum, when you consult any one of us, what we're actually doing is we're tapping into your energy here and now. Great. Except that you have free will. And when you have free will, it means that you might see something in the reading and you go, no, I'm not in agreement with that. I don't like that outcome. And then you use your free will and you begin to make choices and decisions, which changes the trajectory of your life, which in turn changes the outcome, which means that the reading that you had 2 weeks ago is no longer fully in alignment. Now, you may fall back into old habits, and then a week or 10 days later, it does come true. Okay, that can happen. The other thing about the timing is that when you consult a psychic or intuitive, or when we're reading the cards, we're tapping into a different plane of existence. We're tapping into a different realm, the ethereal realm. And time moves at a different rate of speed over there than it does here. Now, some psychics are very, very good at, looking at the timelines over there and then bringing them back into our earthly realm and translating what that means for us, and others not so much. It is what it is, but it's definitely not an exact science. So that's why sometimes predictions don't necessarily come true, or the timelines don't add up, because as you make individual choices, you change the outcome. All right. Free will. Let's just touch on this. This is a general reading intended for all of the Taurans out there, which means that there's a lot of you. And I do not recommend consulting a psychic and then making a really important decision. Instead, by all means, consult a psychic. Consult a tarot card reader, but also consult your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your grandma, your grandpa, your professor, your religious leaders, whoever you want, your bestie. Consult all of them and then put all of that advice into a pot, in my case, into a cauldron, give it a stir, and then tap into your own intuition, tap into your own heart, and tap into your own free will, and make your choice and decision from that place. All right, Taurus. For those of you who are new here and don't know my readings, I do work with a number of different tarot and oracle card decks. I find that it's more effective rather than pulling cards from one specific deck. It resonates with more people when there are different types and styles of cards coming out. Also, as I'm pulling the cards out, I do leave them face down on my surface, on my desk, so that I'm not able to jump too far ahead in your reading. This allows for more of the psychic and intuition to flow naturally and more organically, rather than me seeing a card and going, oh, I know what that means, right? Okay, the very first card that we're going to pull for you, Taurus, is going to be the card that we're going to call Where Are You Now? Look at the energies of where you're at now. Okay, these cards are acting a little weird. Where are you at now? We do have a card that's come up. Let's flip it off. Is there anything else? Anything else? Oh, okay. this, 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 and this. Taurus. I'm just going to flip these cards out. I'm not actually reading the cards at this point, but you have quite a lot going on in your life right now. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on. Is this the right deck? No, we're actually going to go here for what you are focusing on. Nope, I'm getting called right back to those fairies. All right, Taurus, what are you focusing on the first couple of weeks of April 1st through the 15th? What are the Taurans focusing on? Those are on the floor. Taurus, what are you focusing on? Okay, apparently a lot. Okay. We'll just pick up these first couple of cards. And there we go. And Taurus, the next card that we're going to pick for you is a card of difficult influences. Okay. What are you struggling or bumping up against a little bit here for April 1st through the 15th for the Taurus in the group? Difficult influences. Apparently you don't have any, despite the fact that you had just a whack of cards come out for where you're at now and another whack of cards come out for what you're focusing on. So Taurus, I think you might have one or two difficult influences, but we'll just go through this deck. This is where I was called. There we go. Okay. Interesting. You only have the one card that came out for difficult influences. The next card that we're going to pull is a card that just makes sense. Yes, I got called over here right away. What makes sense for the Taurans? What do they need to know right now? Makes sense. Anything else? Okay. So we do have two cards that have come out here for you, Taurus. Okay, the next card that we're going to pull is a card of unexpected insights. What's unexpected? Well, based on where you're at now and the pile of cards, and based on this pile of cards, and as I mentioned, I have not looked at these cards yet, you probably have something unexpected. Where are we going? Unexpected. Are we going here? No, we're going here for unexpected. This very talkative deck from the where you're at now and being called upon for your final outcome. All right, unexpected insights. Unexpected insights for the Taurans. Unexpected influences. Okay. And like I mentioned, I'm getting called back over here to the Osho Zen for your final outcome. These cards are intended to predict or project where you're going to be at come middle of April. What will be influencing you, what's coming up for you. And now this deck doesn't want to talk at all. You saw all of those cards pop out. And now it's gone quiet. I guess it said everything it wanted to say. Let's go through the deck one more time here. General overall outcome for the Taurans, April 1st through the 15th, 2023. Yeah, they're not flipping out. General overall outcome. Is it at the end of the deck here? No. Interesting. All right. I'm going to set this deck down and just see if I'm getting called to another deck to pull your final cards here, Taurus. This doesn't usually happen. Okay. We will head back over here to the fairy deck. General overall outcome. And that one's on the floor. General overall outcome. Is there anything else that the Taurans need to know for their outcome? Yep, there's one. Anything else? Okay. All right. We'll pick your card up off the floor here, Taurus, and we'll get started with this whole whack of cards of where you're at now. The first card that you have coming up is the Devil card, also known as the 15 in the traditional tarot in the major arcana. And in this deck, it's represented as the conditioning card. What this is telling me, Taurus, is that there is something coming up in your life right now, here at the end of March, while I'm doing this reading, that is causing you to question why. Why is it being done this way? Why am I perceiving it as being something bad? You've been conditioned to accept something in your life that perhaps you shouldn't. The other thing that comes up when this card comes up is it can be a card of karma. So just the heads up, I will pull all of this together in just a moment, but I'm going to read the individual cards first. The next card that you have right next to the conditioning card, incidentally, is the letting go card. Okay. These two cards together are telling me that you need to let go of your conditioning. So conditioning is why do you perceive eating cereal for dinner as a bad thing? Why? Why can't we have cereal for dinner? If it's good enough for breakfast, why can't we eat it for dinner? Okay. These are the types of questions and the type of conditioning that comes up when this card comes up. Like I said, karma can also come into play, but why is cereal bad for dinner? Why? I don't know. I'm trying to think of another example, but I know I'm going to get backlash for any kind of example I get. And that's coming into the conditioning, right? So if I say, for example, why do we wear bicycle helmets? The vast majority of people above the age of 30 who are alive on this planet today never wore a bicycle helmet until they were at least 30 years old. They're all still here. The vast majority of them are fine. So why do we wear bicycle helmets? If you've ever read my book, Taurus, I did write a book. It's called Memoirs of a Single Traveling Mom, and there is information in there about wearing bicycle helmets and how not wearing a bicycle helmet saved my life. So this is the type of conditioning that we need to look at. This is the type of conditioning that you need to be looking at right now, Taurus. It's really important. Why are you doing what you are doing a certain way? The next card that you have is the letting go card. This is the card that is the equivalent to the 8 of Cups. And it's asking you to let go of that conditioning that no longer serves you. Because if you don't, then you are going to end up in this place of suppression. Okay? You're going to begin to suppress your true self. So if you've watched this video right from the beginning, instead of skipping ahead to where the reading started, you will hear my little spiel about using your free will and tapping into your heart center when you have a difficult decision to make. If you are not exploring this devil and the conditioning that you've had and letting go of that which no longer serves you, then what you are actually doing is suppressing your true self. Okay. So Virgo, seek out guidance from others. This will bring you new vision. I do want to point out that this new vision card in a traditional tarot deck is actually represented by the Hanged Man. Okay, what's better, new vision or a hanged man? Okay, now you know why I use the Osho Zen sometimes, and I don't always use a traditional tarot deck, because when I turn over a hanged man, a lot of people automatically go, okay. When I turn this card over and say new vision, seeing things from a different perspective and recognizing that things are not always as they seem, things are not always as we were conditioned to believe them to be. Everybody goes, oh, I like that card. So Taurus, this is actually a really good card. But the first steps first, let go of your conditioning, explore it on a deep basis. And the final card that you have coming out in where you're at now is the Lovers in the upright position, which can indicate new romance coming in for those of you who are single. It can also indicate a change or a shift in your existing relationship if you're in a committed relationship. For those of you who are not currently looking, this card can also indicate an amazing new partner or friend coming in that may be kind of like a mentor, in a mentor role. But in order to achieve this, we have to change and shift how we're seeing things, and we need to let go of our conditioning. Okay. Now, Taurus, if this turns into a love reading, as is indicated by some of these cards, why do you need to let go of conditioning? I just thought of another example for the conditioning for you. If you have a belief because your ex cheated on you, and you have a belief that all members of a certain sex, either male or female, will always cheat, that is part of your conditioning. You need to let go of that before you can have new vision and bring a new lover into your life. Okay. So these cards, despite the fact that there's so many of them, really, really work well together and speak volumes as to what you're currently experiencing right now, Taurus. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on. Okay. So one of the very first card that you have is the Ace of Spring. Aces are always an indication of new beginnings, and this is a card of it's time to take action. Okay. If you want this outcome over here, this Lovers card, you need to take action. You can be emotionally fulfilled, and you are currently focusing on manifesting that into your life. But you're also going to likely experience a Tower moment. April 1st through the 15th. Not surprising. Now, a lot of people get the Tower and they go, eek. Okay. What the Tower is saying is that you are letting go of your past conditioning. Because when we let go of our past conditioning, we become an outsider to the people that once were part of our inner circle. When we let go of our past conditioning, people go cross-eyed looking at us going, wow, they changed. When we let go of our past conditioning, our lives change, and they do change for the better. A lot of people say, oh, Tower moments are so uncomfortable, and oh, I don't like it. But the bottom line is, Taurus, the one constant that we have in our lives is change. And when we accept change, we realize that a Tower is actually one door closing and a better one opening. Also focusing on the Wheel of Fortune. Why is the Wheel of Fortune important for you right now? The Wheel of Fortune is important because our lives can go one way or the other in a very, very short period of time. And it's based on our decisions. So if our decision is to continue to hold on to our previous conditioning and not let go of it, then we're actually going to be suppressing our ability to change. The Wheel of Fortune here is really positive. You have another ace in your focus. Amazing that you actually have 2 aces in your focus for April 1st to April 15th. Again, having this Devil card come up, you have guidance coming up, you've got the Hanged Man and the Lovers. So just in this batch alone, you've got really powerful energies coming in as major arcana. But now you have 2 aces coming in. Ace of Spring, also known as the Ace of Wands, and you also have the Ace of Pentacles coming in. This is about money, Taurus. Great new beginnings. Now, it's right next to the Wheel of Fortune, which is right next to the Tower. What is this telling me? What does this tell me, read in this order? It means that you need to let go of the past in order to be able to move into this place where the Wheel of Fortune is going to start spinning in your life. And if you've let go of the right crap that was no longer, and the right belief systems that were no longer serving your highest good, you're going to move into a windfall of money. You're going to move into a place of betterness in your financial situation, as well as your work, job, or career. The final card in your focus is that it's a 2, and it's the 2 of Swords, 2 of Winter. This is a card of indecision. Okay. When we're dealing with conditioning and we begin to change and shift, there's always that small part of us that wants to go back to how things were, Taurus. And the reality is that once a door opens in this realm of operation, when, in the ethereal, when you recognize that, and you have this, these, new vision moments, when you're seeing things from a different perspective and you're letting go of the past, there's going to be a small part of you at some point between April 1st and April 15th, Taurus, where you're going to go, I just want things to go back to how they were. Okay. That's not a bad thing, because it does allow you to explore more deeply, letting go of what no longer serves you. In your difficult influences, you have the honeybee. This represents community. This is not surprising for this to be coming up in your difficult influences, Taurus. I'm going to move this reading along because that was a lot of cards to read for the beginning of this. It's not surprising that you've got the honeybee and community coming up in your difficult influences, and here's why. When you're going through devil moments, when you're going through tower moments, what do we want to do? We want to withdraw, right? We don't want to be part of society when things are up in the air in our own lives and things are in turmoil. However, probably one of the best places we could be is in community. So you are going to be bumping up against this as you move through the first part of April. And in your This Makes Sense, you have 1 card in the upright position and 1 card in the upside down position. So we will read them in the way they came out. Uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. This is a card of you doing that devil's work, that conditioning work, digging deeper and recognizing that not everything that you were told as a child resonates with you anymore. And it's okay to make changes. And it's okay to believe in yourself. And it's okay if you want to have a bowl of cereal for dinner. You know what? It's okay. The other card that you have, and it is coming up in the upside down, is unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. This coming up upside down in the This Makes Sense is because you're not there yet. That makes sense. You're not quite there yet. You're not exactly where you're meant to be. You're still on this learning and growing path. You're letting go of that which no longer serves you. You're moving into this new vision and being able to see things from a different perspective. You're still experiencing a tower moment right now. When you're in the midst of a tower moment, you're not where you're meant to be. Trust me on that one. This card is reminding you that as you are experiencing the tower over here, where you're at is temporary. Unexpected influences and insights. Unexpected, you are going to see some seeds grow. That's not actually unexpected, is it? That's not unexpected to me. When you're doing all this changing and shifting, Taurus, you're going to see your seeds grow. It's going to be like springtime when all of the little sprouts begin to come up through the earth, and it's exciting, and you're not sure what is that that's coming up. And there's going to be that excitement, that spring-like, childlike excitement coming in for you here, April 1st to the 15th. The other unexpected insight that you have is you have a reminder here to rest and retreat, to practice some self-care and do a little bit of hermiting the 1st through the 15th of April, Taurus. Your general overall outcome. What's that card? This card has the 12 at the bottom. I don't know if it's coming into focus. It flashed into focus and then went back out of focus. But this is the 12 in the major arcana for the Osho Zen. And you have the 12 card coming up again. This is the Hanged Man. You have it a second time. This is your general overall outcome, Taurus. This is indicating that you will actually achieve what you're looking for, of being able to see things from a new perspective. You're going to be able to actually see things with this new vision. When you change the way you are looking at things, you change a situation. And the other thing that you have coming up as the final card in your reading, Taurus, is the Strength card. This card is reminding you, you have everything in you to succeed in everything that you're going through. You have that strength. The other thing that I do want to point out on this card is that very prominently featured on the Strength card in the majority of the tarot, no matter which tarot deck you look at, has a lion featured prominently on it, Leo the lion. So as you're going through some of this, Taurus, you may want to see whether, you know, the mentor that I mentioned that may be coming in for you. You had the guidance card, and I said that there's a good possibility it could be a mentor. If you're not looking for romance, you may have a mentor coming in. Have a quick look, Taurus, because the person coming in and helping you with your strength may be a Leo. Who knows? But you do have everything you need to get through and overcome this and shift into this new world. And you can see things from this new perspective. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, Taurus. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you being here. And I hope you'll join me again in mid-April for your next reading.